right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone. It's a Friday night edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani here until 11 o'clock, riding solo, so give me a call at 412-575-2600. That is the number of the Bordas and Bordas hotline. And we begin with the Pirates, who after last night's disappointing loss, sloppy, 3 errors, bad pitching, not much location of any of their pitchers, losing 12-6. They rebound tonight, even though they had to do it again shorthanded. There was no Corey Dickerson. There was no Starling Marte, both still out with injuries. Dickerson a hamstring, Marte with a thumb injury or a hand injury based on getting hit by a ball the other day. Both, again, still out. So Josh Bell had to leave the game early in it after he ran the first base and suffered some left side discomfort. So they were really shorthanded. But David Freese stepped up big time. David Freese hasn't had a night like this since 2012. Pirates win 5-4. Freese drives in all 5 runs, including the game winner. In the bottom of the 9th inning, bases loaded, no outs, and he promptly goes to right center field to drive it home. And when he's going well, he's very good at hitting the ball opposite field. So the Pirates get a win after they lose last night, and this is game 2 of a 9-game homestand. Coming in after them, the Mets would be the Cubs and the Cardinals. Cardinals-Cubs. And you can really make up some ground there if you go head-to-head. But the Cubs are going to be an interesting team to deal with now because they did acquire Cole Hamels. We told you about it last night. It was finalized today. Now, he's had a terrible season, his worst in his career. He's 34. In fact, ERA in his last 3 starts of over an 11. However, you know what he's capable of doing in the postseason. He has World Series MVP to his credit. He's been outstanding in very critical games in postseason history, and that's what the Cubs are counting on as they go through this trade deadline, which is July 31st. So the Cubs have been active, and it looks like they're going to be activating Yu Darvish as well. Pirates, so far, no word on what they would do, if anything. And if so, you got to believe it's going to be minor at this point because have not heard much at all, given where they are. And I think a lot of this will depend on what happens with Corey Dickerson and Starling Marte. If they're both out for a longer period of time, that would lead to who knows what, but if it's just a few days, you know, they can deal with what they have. They have Luplow up now. They could bring up Austin Meadows. They haven't done that yet. Frazier played tonight in the outfield because of the Josh Bell injury, so there are a lot of different options they can consider. Will they make a big trade? Likely not. Will they add on? Likely something smaller, I would think. They also, I'm sure, would still like to deal away contracts like Harrison, like Mercer, maybe even Freese. Freese gets 5 RBIs. His trade value goes up a little bit. Maybe there's a team out there that wants a right-handed bat. 412-575-2600. That is the number to call. You can also tweet the program here tonight at KD Pomp. Up at training camp today was interesting. Some dynamic plays by Antonio Brown. What else is new? You know, this is why when people say they get annoyed with some of the stuff he does, hey, listen, if he did it and didn't produce, I'd have a problem with it. But by arriving the way he arrives at training camp, to me, he does it all in good fun. He's always there. He always practices harder than anyone. He always puts up numbers that no one else can touch. Therefore, he can do whatever he wants to do as far as I'm concerned with regard to that, just to have some fun. I don't think it's a big deal. Now, if he didn't back it up, I'd have a big deal with it. But he does do that every single time. And today he made a catch along the sidelines, one-arm catch. It was a beauty as he was being dragged down. It would have been a penalty call on a defensive back, but didn't stop Antonio Brown. And then we saw a big connection between Mason Rudolph and James Washington. Saw that a lot in the OTAs and minicamp. And today it was down the field. And those two guys seem to have that connection by playing at Oklahoma State. Mason Rudolph looked better today than he did yesterday. And he will be somebody we'll watch in preseason games, which begin on August the 9th on KDKA-TV. So we'll talk about all these things with you. It's 412-575-2600. We invite your opinions right here, right now until 11 o'clock. It's 412-575-2600. That's the Bordas and Bordas hotline. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. And coming up, we have a sizzling shot once again. We're going to tell you about that after this short timeout. That's right, Roos Chris sizzling shot. We get a high five to a local golfer, made a hole in one, and we've had a lot of those recently. The Sizzling Shot brought to you by Roos Chris at 6 PPG Place downtown, home of the sizzling steak done right. We'll tell you about it when we come back right here on Pittsburgh CW.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters.
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse congratulates this week's golfers who scored a hole-in-one. And if you're looking to celebrate or just want a perfect meal, then tee up a sizzling steak at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Pittsburgh's most awarded steakhouse where you'll never need a mulligan.